What is going on, everybody? This is Audible Sports Kids. We got Brett and Jeff here. How's it going, Brett?
Great.
That's great. We finally made it. It is
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl week. The best two teams in the NFL, and one will become the best team in the NFL just in a couple days. It's always a fun time, Super Bowl. You got fun game. It's always a fun game, whether you like offense, defense, special teams. It's always a fun game. You got obviously the commercials. They're always good ones. They've maybe.
I got a fun fact for you, real quick.
All right, hit his.
You might know this one, but maybe not. What current head coach beat out Calvin Johnson for Georgia's High School Player of the Year?
Oh yeah, that's all over. Pretty much.
Yeah, you've seen it,
every
right?
time when
Okay.
Sean McVay gets to the Super Bowl, that's kind of pointed out a lot that he beat out.
That's kind of it's just an interesting.
Oh yeah, especially when you consider Calvin Johnson one of the greatest athletes of our generation.
And I think he was pretty much that size in high school too, so that says a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, even look back at his time at Georgia Tech, he was a man amongst men.
Yep, but then after him,
boys.
Georgia Tech thought they could just sign every giant receiver, and none of them ever panned out.
I mean, Demaryius Thomas.
Okay, fine, but he's rest in peace, by the way.
Oh yeah. He was a great. He not even
moving
not
on now.
Good man, but yeah. Let's get back to the Super Bowl. Obviously, Sean McVay, coach of the LA Rams. Why you brought that up? And you got the Rams Bengals Super Bowl. It's the one everyone thought was gonna happen. Not really. Not a lot of people had the Bengals making it this far, let alone the playoffs. So it's really amazing to see the Bengals. That's kind of I was listening to some stuff earlier today. Before this kind of run they're on, for the longest time they were kind of one of those mediocre franchises. Kind of the Lions and even Cleveland. They were just a franchise of really nothingness. They hadn't won a playoff game in nearly 30 years. Yeah, not 30. Yeah, 30 years. God, time's flying.
The 80s, yes.
90s. They went to the Super Bowl in the 80s, but their last playoff one was from the 90s.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, it's just I think this will be a fun game. A lot of good offensive talent. But before we get into that, let's we haven't really talked about it since. But let's championship week. Can you guess what our records were for that week, knowing who we picked?
I was 1-1.
We both were 1-1. You thought the Bengals were going to make it. I didn't, and I thought the Rams. You did. So that's where things stand from that, which moves our final. I mean, not counting the Super Bowl, I guess. Our playoff records. Mine was 8-4. Yours was 4-8.
Yep.
But like I was talking about, it's always a fun Super Bowl. The halftime show. I mean, we talked a little bit about this on our stream we did of the kind of Madden Super Bowl matchup, but the halftime show should be really good. The commercials should be good. It should be a good game in general. So I'm excited for this Super Bowl Sunday. And hey, it's the day before Valentine's Day. Maybe treat your significant other to some.
Oh, you just
Super Bowl
totally.
times.
Sorry to cut you off there. You totally threw me off there because I actually thought tomorrow was Valentine's Day, not thinking that the way you said that. But that's good.
It's not tomorrow. You got not plenty of time, but you got.
I think you didn't just save me though. You might have saved others as well here. So.
I mean, I'm here to save as many people as I can in any other way I can. So.
Did you get your girlfriend something?
Yeah, but don't want to say too much about what it is because. She might be listening.
I know. I didn't ask what it was. I'm just wondering if I was reminding you because I got mine
way
ready.
ahead of it. I've been ready for months.
Okay, perfect.
But let's this isn't a dating podcast. This is a sports podcast. Let's talk sports. So
yeah, but sometimes sports cause people to forget important things like Valentine's Day.
That is true. There's some. Yeah, but going back to, I talked a second ago about, this Madden sim we did. Or not sim, but our Madden playthrough of the Super Bowls. If anyone didn't catch it, it's on YouTube for anyone who wants to watch it.
It is.
But we decided to play, best 2 or 3 of the Super Bowl. And through that, we had the Cincinnati Bengals not only win the best 2 out of 3, but a third game. So
Yep.
I think the Madden prediction's showing that the Bengals are going to win, and using the the average of the scores, it's a 21-16 Bengals win. But I don't know.
And that was switching teams too.
Yes, that was switching teams and everything. I didn't just play as the same team. He didn't just play as the same team. But
Correct. But the key is we both won with the Bengals, and that's kind of interesting.
that is interesting. But enough of this kind of Madden talk about it. I don't know if it could be. I mean, I'm not going to say exactly right now who I'm picking to win, but I don't know if it could be that low of a scoring game. I mean, both these defenses have played really good, and sometimes these teams don't score that much, but I could see this being maybe a higher scoring game. I mean, right now the total for the projections is 48.5 for the over under, and that definitely is going for an under right there. But I don't know if it'll be that low scoring.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it'll be somewhere.
Maybe higher 20s for both teams.
Maybe, yeah, but I think
it's always hard to tell. I mean, yes, both of these teams are really good offensive teams, but the defenses, like I said earlier, have been playing really good and kind of.
I'm gonna change what I probably. If you would have asked me a few days ago, it was Rams all day. Well, considering two of the Bengals' top players have never lost in any type of situation like this, I'm gonna roll with the Bengals. I just feel like that's just. I don't know. They've never lost in a situation like this. So, not saying they've been in a situation exactly like this, but all their high-pressure games they've won so far together.
So you think nobody can beat them Bengals?
We'll see. But that's the logic I'm basing it off of. They're winners, and until they lose, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've definitely been leaning a lot towards Cincinnati, but it's hard for me not to root with Matt Stafford. Being the Bears fan in me.
I mean, I agree. But do you care that much about Matt Stafford?
Maybe not, but also I have to think of is that Cincinnati offensive line let the Tennessee Titans sack him 9 times, Joe Burrow.
And they still won.
9 times. Yes, but they're going up against, I would argue, a much better defense when you have the likes of Aaron
if
Donald,
they show up.
Miller. Yes, if they show up. And that causes me a little bit more worry. Yeah, the Tennessee played, really good, but it's hard for me to root against Aaron Donald.
So what are you saying? Are you thinking this could be like the Seahawks Broncos? That kind of pass rush? Just crazy?
I mean, are you sure Seahawks Broncos is the one you should be making the comparison? Maybe the Broncos Panthers with the way Von Miller played that game?
Oh, no, I was saying how Seattle just dominated the Broncos.
I don't think it'll be that dominant of a defensive performance, but I don't know. I just have a hard time saying that. But then again, here's the thing: I'm one of those people who's doubting Joe Burrow and putting in a situation where that.
How long can you keep doubting him? I mean, he's gonna lose at some point. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know if it's necessarily that I'm doubting him, but it's just.
Are you doubting everyone around him, basically?
No, I'm more just have more maybe confidence on the other side per se. But then again, I've been doing that all playoffs, so hopefully, maybe I finally get.
I mean, you have the better playoff record, so hey.
Yeah, a better playoff record doesn't mean squat. Like I've said all year, any given Sunday.
It's also a great movie, by the way.
It is. I definitely won't suggest anyone to check it out. Maybe this offseason.
If you're bored, watch it.
Maybe this offseason we'll have a little list of maybe must-watch sports movies.
Yeah.
So hey, keep an eye out on that. But yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go Rams. They, definitely have. I want to see Matt Stafford. So.
Here, I'm gonna say, and my score prediction is 27-20 Bengals.
27-20 Bengals.
Yep.
I think it'll be a little closer than that. I'm gonna go 25-23.
That's too close for my taste.
Someone's gonna kick a game-winning field goal. I'm not gonna say which side. Obviously, I think the Rams probably. If with my prediction, but yeah, that's at least but I think this is gonna be a really good game. I mean, when you look at both of these teams, they're
Actually, I'm gonna adjust mine at 26-20, not 27, 26. That I'm final, locked in.
26-20. Okay, so I got 25-23 Rams. You got 26-20 Bengals. It's locked in. You can't change. But I think this will be a really fun game. I mean, look at both the sides of this offense. I mean, you have arguably the best receivers of this year with Jamar Chase. Chase and Cooper Kupp, and not to
Correct.
mention two quarterbacks who are, playing really good. Yeah, Stafford maybe had some bad games, but I mean, he's the reason they're here. Yeah, maybe they had some luck along the way, but no matter what season, you're gonna have some
What
luck.
team doesn't?
Exactly, it's whoever stays the healthiest and whoever has fate on their side. That's how it is in in sports. That's how it is in life, and that's how it is always been. So yeah, it's just gonna be it's gonna be a fun game. It'll be interesting to see how the crowd goes. It is in
Do you have
LA.
any Super Bowl traditions, things you do on Super Bowl Sunday, anything like that?
I mean, we used to have, back in the heyday, do some Super Bowl parties, but just kind of chill, watch
Well,
the
I just meant
game.
more of. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, we never really did that, but I meant more of just one little tradition or something you do that tend to do every Super Bowl Sunday. Do you have anything or
Normally, just watch it with the fam. Try to make sure they don't pause the game when they want to go do something. That's kind of the
pizza?
challenge.
Pizza is one that I could say is just so. I think of Super Bowl and pizza, ordering pizza.
We used to do those mini barbecue weenies, but that's about it. I mean, sometimes wings, sometimes pizza. I mean, some loaded potatoes.
Well, if you guys want to suggest anything for us to try, let us know.
Oh yeah, I've been. Let's try all sorts of foods or traditions or hey, I got this
Yeah,
nice
share
little.
your traditions
Oh yeah, do it
because
all.
the Super Bowl is kind of it's almost a holiday in America.
It almost
It
is,
really
and considering it does fall the day after Valentine's Day, it's kind of like a little weekend full of love and
because I
sports.
do know like here to order pizza you're there an hour and a half, 2 hours out. It's something that people watch who don't even watch football normally
Oh yeah, I
sometimes.
mean, there's kind of something there for everybody. Whether the commercials, the halftime of the
And
show.
for once, Tom Brady not being in it actually I think might benefit them because people are kind of sick of Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, and hey, he's retired now, so.
Yep.
But it's interesting because this is the first Super Bowl since 2013 that a Manning, a Brady, or a Mahomes, of obviously you have to add Mahomes since he was in the last couple, weren't in it. So
Or Roethlisberger.
yes,
I think he's
Roethlisberger.
yep.
But if you don't,
Because those, if you count all them, that's the ones that are in the Super Bowl
yeah,
for like a long time.
since 2013 when it was Joe Flacco and Colin Kaepernick.
Yep.
So it's just kind of crazy. And hey, what's kind of interesting to think about? Who are the backup quarterbacks for both of those players?
Which one?
For
Flacco and
Flacco and Kaepernick. Obviously, Kaepernick kind of took over for one of them.
well, Alex Smith
Yes, but
and
I'll give you a hint. He's in the NFL today, and he's probably one of the unluckiest quarterbacks in this generation, maybe all time.
what? Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Tyrod Taylor.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in the Ravens.
So that's something interesting. It's a little fun fact for you. That's about
I
all
would
it
say
is.
Teddy Bridgewater is a little more unlucky.
Yeah, I guess when when you factor in kind of what he's gone through. I mean, they're definitely both have been very unlucky, but Tyrod Taylor has showed a lot of flashes, and then some weird stuff
Yeah,
happens. He's been benched for no reason. He's been punctured by a needle, and he lost his starting job. So it's just interesting, and even on that
it's
team,
life.
that is true. Hey, so it's all about who's lucky. It's like we were talking about earlier, but. I don't know. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. I think honestly more excited than I have been for the last couple. Not just because I think the game's going to be better, but these are two teams that we don't see there that much. Obviously, the Rams have been one of the better teams over the last I don't know since McVay's pretty much been there, and obviously they have their early 2000s in that '99 team. But this is a matchup we don't really see, obviously, because the Bengals have been a poverty franchise for the longest time.
Yeah, for me it's gonna be fun because I don't really. I mean, as much as I picked the Bengals, but I don't have a like I don't have a dog in this race. I have to believe that's how it goes. But I'm gonna just enjoy it as a game.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
definitely.
rooting. I'm not really rooting for either way. It's hoping for a good game.
Well
I
then,
really don't want it. Like I don't want it to be one of the teams just starts blowing the. If that were to happen, Super
oh yeah,
Bowls like that kill the
you
experience.
yeah, and that's partially
And
what
that
you
could,
think.
like you say, any given Sunday, that very well could happen. But I don't think it's going to.
I mean,
Not
when
with if you just base it off the way the playoffs have gone.
oh yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like this has honestly been one of the greatest playoffs ever, just because of how great and close the games were. Obviously the first wild card round they were mostly blowouts, but after that they were all amazing games, all close games, all came down to the final play of the game. So I think it'll continue. So that's why I
Yeah.
picked what I did and said what I said about the final game. So it'll be interesting to see how this game goes. Hopefully, it's a lot more exciting than the Pro Bowl was. That little two-hand touch game they played this last weekend, so it'll be fun. And there's a lot on the line. People's legacies and people's next contracts. So it'll be a fun game. A lot of potential high offense, but at the same time, both these defenses played really good. So, and there's something that's kind of interesting. The Rams left tackle Andrew Whitworth, who's 40-year-old left tackle. Amazing. He's bit longevity. He spent a majority of his time with Cincinnati, and he's even kind of came out and said he's kind of no matter who wins it, it's going to be heartwarming for him because he has so much respect and love for both of these teams. So it's always cool to see situations like that where guys played for both teams, or even if there's a player on one of the teams that used to play for like the Bears. We saw in Philadelphia with Alshon Jeffrey, one of my favorite players of kind of like I grew up loving football at that time. So I got to see a lot of him.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just you say you don't really have a dog to root for, but sometimes you find a dude to root for, and that's kind of
but I'll get to appreciate it just watching the game, not rooting for
So don't be putting
like
a lot of
wanting
money.
Someone to win. Yeah.
Yeah, don't be putting a lot of money on it then, because that'll just not ruin it. But hey, if you don't hit, then be a little sad.
Well, you're gonna be sad no matter what if you don't hit. So.
Oh yeah, but if you do hit and you hit good, then hey, maybe you're having a good time. You'll be celebrating all night, just like the players.
Now, I got an interesting question. Now, since we're talking about the Super Bowl, what you had mentioned to me on the last segment that we're going to do the Vikings this week. Which player makes the Vikings a Super Bowl team?
So we're going straight to the Add-a Legend here.
Correct.
All right, yeah, obviously.
Which legendary player? I just figured it kind of flowed right in.
Okay, I see you. And then, for anyone who doesn't know, the Add a Legend is when we add a, player from any, NFL team's past to see if, what makes them a better team to win a Super Bowl, win a game, or, in a case like the Vikings, gives them that extra step to, go to the playoffs and maybe even, go out and win it. It's a talented team. And I've kind of went back and forth on a couple people, and, that's secondary definitely needed a lot of help. And there's a couple different directions you can go. Obviously, a lot of times you don't want to go with an old guy because, the game's changed so much. That's why you should, especially when you're looking at, different sports and their GOATs, you should limit it by era. But I'm going to go with the dude who could definitely help that secondary out because, he knows how to get the ball. I mean, he leads the NFL in the most interceptions, ever in a career. And that's Paul Cruz, the safety.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I know, and it's, obviously that offense is loaded with talent. People might question if, Kirk Cousins is the dude. But, I mean, he put up pretty good numbers. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler, if you like it or not. So, the Vikings, this year were in a really tough situation. They had a lot of close games they just couldn't finish off. And, for a while they were in the hunt and just they couldn't finish the season. It's kind of the same old Vikings, it seems like. But hey, they're going to have a new regime in there. It'll be interesting what they do if they want to continue with Kirk for another year. This would be, is the make it or break it year for him and his contract. And, a lot of those star players aren't getting any younger. I mean, who knows how much longer some of those guys are going to be there, like Harrison Smith or Adam Thielen. So they want.
And how many years did you say qualifies them? I'm just verifying again.
It's 4 years.
Okay.
That's kind of the range. That's normally a rookie contract. So if they can make it those at least 4 years, I think that should be good qualifying for them to. It's also I think kind of what considers someone for a team to.
Do you know who's 1 year short on offense? Warren Moon.
Really, I forgot about Warren Moon playing there. That would have been a good one.
He played 3 years.
He's kind of one of those underappreciated quarterbacks just because he spent so much time in the Canadian Football League and kind of never got the shot he should have been given, but still had a pretty good, career in the NFL.
Well, I'm going to go to the opposite side, and I'm going to pick Fran Tarkenton. Just because I think Kirk Cousins, I think if they put other pieces around him, he might be able. I don't think he's going to win them a Super Bowl though. I mean that is a good point. And when you look at Fran Tarkenton, I mean he retired pretty much being like the quarterback. I mean he had the most like passing yards. Like, he was a really good rusher too. The touchdowns for passing and rushing. He was that dude. I mean how well would he fit being a left-handed quarterback? Translate now? I don't know, but I'm sure he could fit. I don't know. I just
And
think Kirk Cousins is what's holding him back.
that is definitely possible, and not to mention he is a left-handed quarterback. Those don't exist anymore. So it'd
Nope.
be interesting to see if he could last in today, and he would definitely have some of the best. Definitely would have some of the best supporting cast and helping him pretty much transition to a 40 50 year advance in the NFL, which is kind of crazy to think about that we're picking a dude who played was drafted what in 61.
Yep.
So yeah, it's I mean he was
I mean, yes, some people would be like, no, he's not going to translate. That's not the point of that, Legends. It's just literally basing it off of what piece we think would fill in the best.
Oh yeah, and I mean when you look at someone like that who played so well in their era, you have to at least think about it. I mean, obviously for Cleveland, if you want a good running back, you're gonna go Jim Brown because it's Jim Brown. He cemented so much legacy and stuff. So it's like
I didn't know Fran Tarkenton left the Vikings for 4 years.
yeah, where do you go? Washington?
That doesn't say, but
Oh, it doesn't say. Okay, yeah, he was.
the
there
Vikings
for a little
actually
bit, then
only
came back.
have, let's see, 2 quarterbacks who could actually fit this, anyways.
Was Dante
Besides
Culpepper
Tarkenton.
not there long enough?
Culpepper that's one of them.
Kirk Cousins, technically, I guess.
Well, he's not retired.
Yeah, but he's not retired, and I don't know.
Christian Ponder.
Christian Ponder. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's picking him. I mean, the only reason they went to the playoffs that year in 2013 was because Adrian Peterson, was what 8 yards away from breaking the all-time record.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a reason. That's the reason they went to the playoffs, and to mention the Packers pretty much decided to let them in instead of the Bears. But that's a little bit more of me just being an angry Bears fan and Bears not making it to the playoffs when 10-6. But I think that's all we got for you today. Everyone have, enjoy the Super Bowl. Follow the social medias. I'll be pretty much live tweeting the entire Super Bowl for anyone who wants to, kind of pay attention to that. And just, make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Yep. And between now and then, there'll be some stuff, from Twitch popping up. Some of it is leagues that I'm in, and I'm managing the team, play with the team. I'll do commentary, and there'll be times me and Jeff play some 2K, Madden, etc. And we will be getting into the baseball world once that time comes.
Oh, if that time comes, they're still they're still on a lockout, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll be adding some stuff. We'll be adding Twitch to our little thing, so we'll see how that goes, and just bring you guys more sports content.
Maybe we'll add hockey.
Don't get your hopes up on that though.
I meant for playing on NHL.
Like I said, don't get your hopes up. But
all right, take it easy, everyone.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Stay safe.